Hey, what's going on guys, the Deanless here, bringing you my Dekker building guide. But before I actually go over a few tips and tricks on how to play Dekker, I took the time to create a cinematic video of one of the most recent games that I had. If you like this kind of video and would like me to start adding these type of cinematics to my building guides, let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button down below so you can stay up to date with the building guides I release. Without further ado, hope you guys enjoy the video. Now, Dekker is the first support that I've actually ever mained, and I must say that her kit's a lot of fun to play. I usually main carry and offlane, so I was definitely very surprised when I actually ended up liking Dekker. If you've never played support, or you're apprehensive about playing support, I definitely suggest that you try playing it a couple times. It gives you a significantly different perspective on the game, and I definitely think you'll become a better player because of it. I know that I for sure have become a better player just from playing support. Now, before this most recent patch, and I mean the patch coming up 39.1, I would have said that without a question that Dekker was the best support hands down. Her kit features a 2-second stun, a slow bubble, an escape that can navigate high geography, and finally her ultimate, which traps opposing heroes in a containment fence for over 4 seconds. However, with the introduction of Morgish, we've entered into what I want to call the healing meta. Supports like Narbash and Mira, who have healing and shield embedded into their kits, they have a slight advantage over Dekker in this area, as she only has access to healing cards like Quenching Scales and Honor the Pure. That being said, Dekker, in my opinion, is still the best support, as long as your team has an AoE caster like Gideon, Howie, Gadget, anything like that. If not, if your team has like a Lieutenant Bellica or Morgish middle lane or Countess middle lane, then I would suggest going with Narbash or Muriel just because of your given team comp. That being said, I want to get into the build. To start off, you're going to want to grab a dummy ward. So usually I'll place the dummy ward on the side closer to my tower so that I can't get flanked. Once I place that dummy ward, I back and then I grab a circle of health. Circle of health is definitely a must in this meta. Like if you're playing carry, if I was playing carry and my support didn't have a circle of health, I'd be super pissed. Just because Morgeist has one of the best pokes in the game. And if you don't have that circle of health that's just giving you that extra sustain, like you're gonna waste that. You're gonna have to go back a lot, and you're gonna miss out on a lot of farm. So definitely have a circle of health for your carry. Now, even though I have the circular, I usually don't poke at all, just because I don't want to take minion damage as well as the dot damage from Morgeist. So what I typically advise my carry to do, and what I typically just do myself, is I play safe and I try to freeze the lane. That way, if the opposing offlaner is pushing up, you can call for a gank from your jungler. Since you're probably going to be going up against Morgeist and she has 2 great pokes, most of the players that you're going to be playing against are going to be super aggressive. They're going to be trying to secure a kill on your carrier to at least force them out of lane. So you can definitely use that to your advantage. So call for your jungler to gank. Try to land one of your stuns, so try to land Stasis Bomb. If you're level 2 already and you've already unlocked your slow bubble, it makes it a lot easier to land a stun if you use your slow bubble first to slow them and then you use Stasis Bomb. So you can also try that as well. Once you land that stun, hopefully your jungler is rotated in time so that you're able to secure a kill. Once you have an extra 3 card points, you're going to want to go back and grab wards. So you have your circle of health, that's your starting item, and then you don't fill that out at all. You're going to just go and you're going to grab wards. Now you really just want to grab wards so that you can have vision of the map, and then also depending on what side you're on, you're going to want to ward the Raptor Pit as well. That's a huge objective in this game, especially since this last update. Raptors spawn at 10 minutes, so you need to make sure that those are warded so the enemy team, they can't rotate and just take all the Raptors and deny your carry farm. Now once you have 10 total points, you're going to want to back and you're going to want to get rid of your circle of health. And you're going to want to grab Quenching Scales. Now this is arguably the best card in the game right now, because when it's upgraded to full, you're going to have 225 extra health and 20 extra armor for 20 seconds. And I think it's on a 90-second cooldown. The next card you're going to want to grab after Quenching Scales is going to be Honor the Pure. Honor the Pure is a staple card in every support build. As a support, you not only want to help your team with stuns on key targets, but you also want to help them sustain as well. With a 45-second cooldown, Honor the Pure can definitely do that. Whenever you see a teammate engaging and they're fighting the enemy team, you're going to want to pop this card. And you want to pop this card first before you pop Quenching Scales actually. Since this card has a shorter cooldown, you want to utilize this card first. Now depending on who the damage dealers are on the other team, my next card in this build will either be a Tuned Barrier or a Tempered Plate. A lot of times now I've been going with the Tuned Barrier just because I've been playing a lot of Morgeist, and she focuses on ability damage, so that's what I've been going with mostly. But if you're going up against a team that has, like a Seraph in the off lane or like a Greystone, you're going to want to get that Tempered Plate instead. Once you've equipped both your Tempered Plate and or your Tuned Barrier, you're going to want to go with Nature's Muse for the cooldown reduction. Since it's a new patch, most of the games don't go past 30 to 35 minutes, but if you're able to equip Nature's Muse, this is a phenomenal card. The card is on a 90-second cooldown, and it gives you and all your allies a 5-second cooldown reduction on all of your abilities. I typically like to use this in conjunction with a Rampage or a Belka so that you can use 4 stuns in less than 10 seconds, which will give your team a significant advantage over the opposing team. Make sure that when you do equip this card that you have 9 card points to spend, or else that you're not going to be able to use the active, because you're not able to use the active until the card is fully upgraded. That's a mistake that I see a lot of people making, equipping this card before they have enough cards to actually fill it out. Now, like I said before, in more than 90% of your games, you're not going to reach full build if you're playing support. But if you do, to finish off this build, what you're going to want to do is replace your 6-point cards with your 12-point versions, and then you're going to want to fill out your ward and your Honor the Pure to complete the build. Now, I have a few quick tips just for anyone who's playing support. It doesn't necessarily have to be Dekker, but the gameplay, obviously, since this is a Dekker building guide, it's going to focus on Dekker. Number 1 is going to be stay with your carry at all times. Under no circumstance should you leave your carry early game, even if they're under tower. Heroes like Morgeist and Greystone can easily just burst down your carry even if they're under their tower if you leave them alone by themselves. If you need a back, make sure that you have your side of the map warded so that the carry can farm safely. Tip number 2, peel for your carry. So what do I mean by peel? Peeling consists of stunning, body blocking, slowing, or anything that you can think of that would prevent an opposing hero from attacking your carry. So typically what I'll do is if I'm being ganked and I have a ward on the backside, so they're not going to be able to gank my backside. But if they're coming from the front and they're able to land a tether or a snare or a root on my carry, what I'll do is I'll just get in between the person attacking my carry and my carry, so that once the duration of that stun is over, they're able to kind of just run away while I'm able to either use my slow bubble if I'm level 2, or I'm able to land a stun just to help them with the peel and help them get away quicker. It's okay if you die as a support. What you want to make sure though is that your carry is able to stay alive so that he can continue farming. The final tip that I have, and this is something that a lot of people will just forget to do, is to use your active cards. So in the middle of a team fight, it can get pretty chaotic. You know, you have to pay attention to a lot of different things. You're looking out for stuns, you're looking out for roots, you're looking out for Gideon ultimates, gadget ultimates, that sort of thing. It can be really easy to just forget to activate one of your active cards, but you definitely need to make this a priority. If you activate Quenching Scales or Honor the Pure on a teammate that's really low health, it can definitely, and you're able to save that person, it can definitely swing the tide of a fight. So there's been games where I've had a Chimera in my team and he's had maybe 100 or 200 health left, but I'm able to activate Quenching Scales, which gives him 225 health. And then on top of that, Honor the Pure, which gives him that shield. And just because of his stacks and all the health that I just gave him, he's able to last and sustain through that fight. And then we're actually able to, instead of our Chimera dying and us potentially losing the entire team fight altogether, we're able to sustain and then we're able to wipe the enemy team. So definitely make sure that you're using your cards and just using those actives whenever you have the opportunity to. Overall, in the current meta, I still think that Dekker is the best support in the game. She has the most utility out of all the supports with her stun and her cage, as well as her access to Honor the Pure, Purity Center, and Quenching Scales. Especially with Morgaisha's upcoming nerf, I feel like having the need for a healer or someone with shields is slightly reduced. So I'm talking about Narbash and Muriel in particular. The gap between all the heroes though, all the support heroes, has definitely decreased though from the beginning of Monolith. So I'm definitely happy to see that balancing and counterpicking is becoming more of a thing. With that being said, hope you guys all enjoyed this video and hope you learned something. And peace. I'll see you guys in the next video.